everybody's favorite segment. This one comes in and it says grit, comma. I took my very first surf trip / pilgrimage to the North Shore for my 40th birthday this last week. I'm actually writing this on the plane ride home. Having grown up surfing in San Diego, it's always been on the bucket list, but all of the stories, crowds, and quite honestly, the waves themselves had kept me away. Oh, yeah. I finally read Chaz's book on the flight over, figured it was apt, so that too was in my head upon landing. The morning after our arrival, I let my wife sleep in while I paddled out at a well-known spot that was picking up the north/northeast swell. It was a chest to head high day. The first 5 minutes or so, I just kind of observed and got comfortable, found a comfortable spot to pick off some wide ones. That's when I look over my shoulder to see Barton Lynch paddling out with his son. We make eye contact and we exchange good mornings. As he sits up, touching distance from me, I remark that I could have never imagined that my very first session on the North Shore would be with him. He gave a huge smile, extended his hand, and asked where I was from. We had a brief chat, and he said, and then I asked him, any tips? To which he responded, just smile and be friendly. That's first base. And then it's a chess game of trying to position yourself, look for a little nugget that pops up. Not a minute later, still side by side, he calls out from my inside, here's one with a head nod. I swing and paddle, easily get in, make the drop, and hear a hoot from behind. After at least 30 years of dreaming/fearing to come here, I was not only called into, but sharing my first wave on the North Shore with Barton Lynch. The wave ends, I kick out, as does he, and we share another fist bump as we head back to the lineup. I surfed for the next couple of hours, completely permagrinned. It's definitely a session or a session for the memory bank. Nick.
Nick, thank you so much for sharing. I can't hear too many good things about Barton Lynch. Love Barton Lynch. Fantastic story. Loved seeing Barton Lynch, surprisingly, in the Westerly Wendina film. The fact that
right.
Peter Druin coached Barton, which made me think, and that was when Peter, he was like a nutter always, right? Or not a nutter, but he was like always on the edge of pushing something new or different. And so the fact that Barton identified, I want that, made me think Barton must have always been uh, just a unique individual.
Well, I think so. That's all true. And it seemed to me specifically that Barton was hiring him knowing that it was the opposite of Barton's default state. Like Barton was maybe kind of mechanical in his surfing and calculated. And so I think he understood the judges know what to expect from me. I need to come in out of left field. And so he hires the flamboyant showman basically to dirty up his surfing.
Man, who could John Florence hire to dirty up his?
I think that was part of Ross Williams' effort was to help John, not through Ross's dirtiness, but help John figure out how to dirty it up. And I think they unlocked that with Margaret Rivers, the big turns that he was doing at Margaret River in 2018 or 19.
John should hire Donovan Frankenreiter and just incorporate big soul arches, a big bottom turn soul arch. Like that's all he's going to do this coming year. He's going to surprise everyone. Just drawn out arch back.
I don't. I think that would be a regression for John. I think he could go Clay Marzo, Bobby Martinez. Those would be my top picks for John.
How to like add some, yeah, because you can't surf better than John. Let's put that on the table. And there's no criticism, John. You reach a certain level and it's just too good. John is too good, but the judges get used to it. You got a surprise. Thus, Clay Marzo. I mean, imagine if he showed up with Clay, how shocked people would be if he's like, "Yeah, this is my coach."
I think so. Gabriel Medina might need more of this than John does.
For sure, John doesn't need it at all.
Except for the fact that John's coming off of another title, and you do need to kind of reinvent each time you come back.
Man, I wonder at this point, because John left it very open, the question open if he was going to retire or not after his title. I think it was we'll see how I'm feeling, or now what? We're over halfway ready for the new season, right? I mean, when did we end? We ended in September. We are now
So February, early February is when it starts.
okay, so we're getting around there. I wonder how John is feeling right now. If he's thinking, looking at that schedule, looking at going to Abu Dhabi and all this stuff, don't need it. Frankly, won my titles. I'm good.
Honestly, I hope he's not thinking about it at all yet. I think the winner in Hawaii should be your ultimate focus every year, regardless of whether you're going for a world title or not. So let him enjoy that. That's also where he thrives. And then once that kind of settles down after the holidays, consider your options.
Okay. Wise.
Yeah, I like it.